JSS, just survive somehow. Does that refer to Enid's game plan in the zombie apocalypse? Does that refer to us trying to get through this 45-minute episode? No, it is the title of Season 6, Episode 2, JSS, just survive somehow. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, and it is time to do what we do best on this channel, and that is review The Walking Dead.
It was more like SOS. It was a call for help.
Someone help me.
Yeah, I think season 6 is where The Walking Dead begins to go downhill. I'll put it out there.
We're going downtown. The premiere wasn't very good, and this one didn't do much for me either.
They've brought back the Walker element, right? But it's such a forced Walker element. I think it fucking sucks. Now I get it, there wasn't much Walker activity in this episode, but you know what was in this episode? A bunch of jobbers defending Alexandria against a bunch of jobbers.
Yeah, that was interesting. We will talk more about that, but going back to the whole zombie thing, I think we've got to the stage now in The Walking Dead where zombies are absolutely no threat when it comes to groups of zombies or individual zombies. So now the only way they can portray a zombie as a threat is to have like a massive horde. We're talking like hundreds, thousands, because we've seen the main characters, they just survive. Even the women, even smaller ones like Carl, we've seen when he's surrounded, even when his gun's jamming, he's no bullets left and there's 3 or 4 walkers around him, they still survive. The only time a single solitary walker can be a threat is pretty much when it's a red shirt character or it's somebody that said, I've had enough of this show, kill me off. Other than that, we just don't see zombies being threats, so it's no surprise to me that for zombies to be a threat in Season 6, we're dealing with the biggest horde of zombies that we've ever seen. We must be talking thousands, I'd say easily 2, 3, 4,000 in Season 6.
Way more than that?
Way more than, well, I wasn't counting them individually, like, you know, but I would say there's a decent amount there.
No, hold on. I would say in the quarry there's at least
a stadium amount, would you say?
I would say at least 25,000.
25,000. I wonder who put them all there.
Well, they just all fell in, didn't they? That's what we're going for.
That's the game plan. That is what Rick told us. By the way, forget about Rick because he wasn't in this episode.
No, it was a jobber special. It
yeah,
really
so
was.
Rick, was he on the walkie-talkie? No, he didn't even appear.
No.
Rick did not even appear.
We essentially have the group split up at this point. You've got Glenn, Rick running back, but they weren't in this episode.
Well, yeah, the group split up, but everybody that's half decent is not Alexandria, and that's where the majority of this episode takes place. So we begin with a flashback. We get an Enid flashback with her parents. We see how her parents are killed by walkers because they were trying to jumpstart a car. I guess they weren't quick enough. Enid locked herself in while the parents, I guess, just stayed outside to die. They got devoured. We see Enid walking alone. She's surviving on her own. She kills a fucking turtle, which, for me, I wasn't a massive fan of the character anyway. But after just, like, biting the head off of this turtle, that was pretty sick. I mean, if you're going to eat this thing, first, I don't think you would eat it raw. Secondly, could you not just kill it first? I mean, eating something fucking live is very inhumane, and it does give you kind of like Walker vibes.
Yeah, and turtles, who eats turtles? Cook it.
Yeah.
Biting the fucking... No, and how weird is that actually going for a turtle? The slowest moving thing on God's green earth.
Yeah, and then afterwards she like picks out the bones. After she eats the head, she picks out the bones and she writes the letters JSS, which obviously means just survive somehow. And she also writes that on her arms, and we see her moving on, and then she gets to the gates of Alexandria. That is how she arrived here. She gets brought in, and that's the end of the flashback.
That's the end of the intro.
I mean, a 5, 6, 7 minute intro on Enid. What did we learn? I mean, we learned that her parents are dead and that she ate a turtle to survive. I mean, I miss the days when The Walking Dead actually had, like, intriguing stuff in the intros. Like, I remember the intro in Season 2 where they show you Shane shaving his head, and it's foreshadowing what happens later on in the episode when he kills Otis. Like, that was really good. and they didn't waste overly long. That was like maybe a 2 minute at most
I
intro.
know what kind of man you are.
We've got this intro here with Enid, and I get it. We don't really know the character. Maybe this is their way of trying to give her some development. But she didn't do anything. She wasn't speaking. We didn't learn anything about her. It's almost like the intros for The Walking Dead have become filler.
No, you're right, and you know what? I think this is just an exhibit A, though, of how the show's been downhill.
But is this developing a character? Having her eat a turtle and write JSS on her arm, is that what's that doing for you?
No, nothing, but she's a nobody. And I think The Walking Dead in the later seasons, even though this isn't later, this is like halfway, not even halfway. This is just, to me, this is simply just giving minor to medium level characters their own intro. And here, can't say it's a new thing. In season 4, I'm pretty sure they did it with Bob. Or it might have been the start of season 5.
I like Bob's one though.
No, Bob's one made sense, but this isn't the last time. And it won't be, it's not the first time. I think it decreases the quality of a show when you start doing this, man. See proper TV shows, they don't do this for throwaway characters.
I just don't think it added anything. I've no issue with them doing it with a throwaway character, but for me it didn't add anything. This didn't... It took away because it showed you eating a turtle and I was like, fuck me, that's just...
That's rank rotten.
But yeah, no, for me, this really... It done nothing for me. Right, so then we start the episode. Carol is handing out ingredients in the pantry alongside Olivia, Erin, Shelley, a bunch of other people. And they're talking about wanting a fresh pasta maker. Carol offers to help her how to make pasta without using a machine. That's basically it here. We talk about food between these middle-aged women. Not a lot going on here. We see Carol, she sees Sam moping on the porch about her dad, and she basically just goes up to him and says, like, get over it, you know, you live with it or it eats you up. And she's a cunt. I mean, I think Arthur Mitchell said it best.
Shut up, cunt.
Yeah, well, that's... I mean, how can anyone like Carol? See the way she treats this kid, Sam? It is fucking out of order. People talk about, mental abuse and gaslighting and all this shit. I mean, what Carol does to this kid is fucking abusive, but because she's a protagonist in this show, she can't do no wrong. I just don't get this. This is antagonist actions. This is antagonistic motives here and emotions that she's showing, but for some reason people love it. People think she's great. I can't stand her.
Fuck yeah, no. I wish I could say what I wanted to say about Carol, but you know what?
You know, sometimes I think my most hated character on The Walking Dead changes, but what I will say is there's never been a moment where I've liked this character. There's other characters where I thought they were my most hated. There was a time where I thought Laurie was my most hated. There was a time where I thought Carl was my most hated, but they're just not. I think Carol has no redeeming qualities.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
but like Laurie manipulating men is one thing. This dishwasher fucking mentally torturing a kid that's already mentally fragile is whole new fucking levels of fucked.
I just wish Ed would come back and fucking put her in her place.
Yeah, I mean this is the bitch that fucking sat in the sidelines while her daughter went missing and fucking had the audacity to blame half of the group.
Oh, you didn't find her?
Well, you did.
Yeah, so honestly, man, I cannot stand her.
Yo, see if Scott Gimple came out and said, "Oh, this is Carol letting out some of that guilt she had for Sophia by bullying this kid," I'd be like, well, you know what, I can maybe...
What goes around comes around, kind of, you know?
Aye. I can,
They do say that. Sometimes the abused become the abuser, but people think she's fucking great. I don't.
See what she's doing to this kid. Is that really any worse than what fucking Ed was doing to her? And I get it, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But this is an 8-year-old fucking kid here.
We could argue she could have walked away and stuff. I mean, I don't really think this Sam kid, he's trapped here, isn't he?
And she's manipulating with cookies, and it's just how can anyone like this character? Oh, but she's so strong. Oh yeah, you know, she acts like the innocent middle-aged woman around everyone in Alexandria, but when it comes to this one kid, she acts like the most evil person on the planet. That's so strong, isn't it?
Yeah, we see Jesse trying to give Ron a haircut. He doesn't want one. He blames her for Pete's death. She says that the reason you can't move your arm is because your father was a dangerous man. And that basically she says it Rick's her friend, and that's it. Ron.
So what did he do to his left arm then?
Maybe Pete hit him or something in the arm or broke it. I don't know what Pete done to his arm, but I still don't see why Pete should have been executed. And I mean, how can Ron not be upset here, right? It's still his father at the end of the day. His father got gunned down, got executed, and then his father gets moved off the land, buried outside of Alexandria, and now he probably knows that his mum is sleeping with the man that killed his father. It's like, I mean, how does she expect Ron just to sit down and get a haircut and act like everything's okay? I mean, I don't think Ron... Yeah. I don't blame Ron for being...
If that doesn't piss Ron off, it will.
Yeah, we then get Maggie talking to Deanna about vegetable seeds here. I mean, just... This has been a very shit start to this episode, by the way. Not a lot happening.
It has. You've got nothing going on. It's like a normal day in Alexandria, right? And then guess what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Carol looks out her window after baking some cookies. Oh, and there's a wee bit of a stabbing spree going on.
Yeah, so...
It looks like London.
We also got Eugene, Tara, and Denise in the surgery, if anyone wants to talk about that.
Just survived somehow.
Yeah, Gabriel asks Carl for some self-defense lessons. Carl says, come over at 3 and I'll help you. And then...
No, really pissed me off, right? Somebody gets stabbed and they take her back to the infirmary and Tara's having a fucking go at Denise for having panic attacks and not being able to treat this patient properly. Meanwhile, her best friend, sitting in the corner of the fucking room...
has never contributed to anything.
He's lied his way through life and he's pissed his fucking pants while they're in it. You know, he's sitting there fucking greeting. They're like, right, oh, the strong need to go here, we need to defend, Tara needs to go. And Eugene's, oh, I can't do it, I'm better in here, hiding. Fuck, I kill the cunt. I fucking kill him.
See, at this point, what does Eugene contribute to the group? What does he offer? What does he give?
I don't know.
See if people turn around and says, I think he should be made to leave because he's just another mouth to feed and he offers nothing. I could see their point.
No, then you've got some other fat woman, right, who looks like Denise but ain't Denise, hiding in the armory closet, got a selection to every gun under the sun, and doesn't take one to defend herself.
Absolutely insane. So we
this would be like the prisoners, right, in season 3 when they locked themselves in the fucking canteen, not eating any food and dying.
Yeah, so it's crazy. We see the wolves, they're running about Alexandria, they're killing people. Carol then goes into Carol mode, I guess, and she dresses up as one of them. She starts killing them. We see Carol take out about maybe 6, 7. She then makes her way into the armory room. And so you open a door to go into the armory room, but there's also like a locked door, like a storage room in the armory room. And she opens that up. Obviously, she goes in, she takes a gun, she opens that up because she can hear somebody inside. And it's this fat woman whose name I don't know, but she's hiding in the room inside the armory room. But she didn't take a gun with her. I mean, like, are you stupid as fuck? Like, why would you be doing this? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I guess you could argue it is cowardice and she doesn't really have any intention of trying to defend this place or take anybody out. Her sole intention is just hiding. But even if you don't plan on coming out, even if you don't plan on trying to take down any of these Wolves members, you would surely, and even if you don't want to be seen, and that's why you're hiding in the room, in the armory room, wouldn't you take in a gun with you at least?
No, it's just plot holes. You can pick fucking a million through this. And I just hate the fact you've got Carol running about. Right?
Because but you do see what's her name, Pete's wife who's dead.
I have no idea what her name is. It's just
blonde hair.
Jessie.
I mean, you see Jessie hiding in the closet with Sam, but she's got a gun.
Yeah.
She's got a gun, but she's hiding. But she knows here, at least it's better to have a gun in case someone breaks in. Why is the person in the armory not hiding with a gun? When they've got you got your pick, it's like, you know.
Also, why is there even an armory? Why doesn't everyone just have guns?
Well, I think after this, the whole armory thing will be out the window.
Oh, I'd say so.
So, then we see Morgan arrive with a stick. Spencer was in the watchtower. The watchtower falls.
Some guy smashes into it.
And yeah, so the guy
Then
smashes...
but then they carry Deanna out and he's like, oh, you hide in front of this truck with your useless fucking son.
Yeah, so, I mean, Spencer then kills the guy that was driving the truck, or Morgan kills the guy that was driving the truck. This guy turned incredibly quick. And then inside Alexandria, people are dying, people are getting killed. Morgan's like to Spencer, let's go. And Spencer just looks at Morgan, he's like, no.
And Morgan's like, you stay and look after your mother.
And then Maggie arrives, and Maggie and what's her the one Deanna. They can hear people dying and screaming inside, and Deanna's like, I'll just be a hindrance, I'll hold you back. So then Maggie runs inside, and then you've just got Spencer, a grown man, outside the walls, and he locks Deanna in the truck to keep her safe. And he's trying to play the role of, oh, look, I'm the protector. No, mate, you are the shite bag. No wonder these new characters don't get treated seriously. No wonder these new characters... There's a reason why nobody's going, oh, Spencer's been a great addition to the what? Because he's a fucking pussy, man. He's sitting at... He's not quite Eugene level. But, I mean, come on, that's your people inside.
No, what is there to say about this? So it's fucking horrendous. It's like, how overbooked does Rick's group need? Rick's group are made out to be like, man, I hate the Avengers, but they're made out to be like these superhero-like fucking characters.
Morgan's going in with a fucking stick. Bloody Spencer's got this big AR, whatever it is.
Also, no, but they're hyping up the fact that the Wolves have got no access to guns, and it's like, oh, if they get to the armory, we're fucked. How are we a couple of years in, and not like one member of the Wolves has a fucking gun between them? And bear in mind, there's about 30 of them.
Maybe that's their gimmick. Maybe they don't.
So why are they going into the armory then?
Well, that is true. Like,
if that's their gimmick, then what are they going for the armory?
Think of the amount of people the Wolves have killed. Surely they would have came across people with guns.
Yeah.
You know, the law of averages, they would have killed people that have guns. So we just get a big killing spree. Morgan refuses to kill. Morgan's trying to...
He captures a guy, then Carol just fucking shoots him at point blank range, and it's like...
And as much as I dislike Carol, it's like... I mean, I don't really blame her here for shooting these people.
I don't, but Morgan didn't really seem that bothered.
But Morgan's like disappointed because he thought he could save them. He thought he could, you know, save the day without killing anybody. Yeah, so we basically just get more. We get more killing. Rosita and Aaron arrive. I don't know where they were, but they come back and they're in the action now. They're killing wolves.
It's not what it is, though, right? It's just a bunch of fucking no names dying for Alexandria, and every wolf dying until Morgan confronts like 4 of them and convinces the remaining guy to leave.
Yeah, Morgan saves their lives. Hey, you guys have got sticks like me. We've got guns here. You ain't gonna win. How come Morgan's winning then? And Morgan's only got a stick. Morgan's not got a gun. And he's killing everybody. And then we get Carol.
Yeah, we've got Carol, but back before Carol, you do have Jessie as well. She fights off some woman with a pair of scissors, and then Ron walks in. He's like, huh? Know what I mean with the cat? Huh?
But, I mean, I don't get it. What's she supposed to do? I mean, she's defending herself or whatever. But then we get Carol standing over the body of Mrs. Nuda Mayer, and then she, tears up and breaks down. It's like, we have... This woman was literally introduced this episode. This woman died within the first 15 minutes, and out of that 15 minutes, she probably had maybe 2 minutes of screen time, and I mean maybe a couple of sentences at the most.
No, but how
the fuck can you be crying over this?
How can Carol, right, be crying over this woman, but then 10 minutes prior be emotionally bullying a fucking child? How am I supposed to feel for this cunt?
Yeah, then Morgan gets one of the wolves, he captures him. Carl, who was helping fend off people... I mean, well, I say help fend off. Carl was sitting in the house, but a bit like a shite bag as well. I mean, you could argue he was protecting the sister, but he's got a gun.
Also, the way him and Enid are sitting back to back, I don't know, it's just fucking cringe. And the way she walked in, Carl's like, oh, there's people killing each other. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
There's just nothing to... No, there's nothing to Enid, man.
Horrible actress. Or maybe that's unfair, but horrible acting. I would definitely go that far. And it's just Carl is supposed to be this mini version of Rick, but you feel like Rick, if he was here, would have been out trying to kill as many as possible, trying to save the day, and Carl's sitting in his house, he's got a gun. Should he not be like, Enid, here, lock yourself in the room, look after look after Judith, and he starts going out picking people off.
I'd agree. I mean, and then the episode pretty much just ends with a few more wolves getting killed, a few escaping, then Morgan and Carol walk past each other. And it's like, it's supposed to show you, this is the good guy and this is the bad guy.
Yeah, so I don't know if they were just like doing a perimeter here of Alexandria to make sure everybody was dead, but you just see Morgan and Carol walk past each other, and that's how the episode ends. I think, considering the story and what happened in this episode, and the fact that Alexandria was invaded by a group, and for the most part you got like a decent length like kind of brawl or whatever, I think this episode should have been good, but it was just full of characters that we do not like. All the main characters, all the people that you care about weren't here.
The leader wolf that we seen last season, we don't even have a name. We've nothing.
Yeah, we don't know any of the wolves. We don't care about the wolves. And then
every woman that Carol introduces to earlier died. Oh, fuck, I care so much.
And it's like, it's all the B-level characters that were in Alexandria. Carol, Morgan, Aaron, Rosita, Eugene, Tara. You know, where was your Ricks and your Darls and your Glens? Where were those guys? They went
nowhere to be seen, damn it.
You know, so...
No, but when this episode came out, man, there's people, like, pretending it's, like, the great... What was so good about it?
I mean, compare... I know maybe it's unfair to compare them, but when I compare this to, like, Too Far Gone, or I compare this to No Sanctuary, I mean, those two just blew this one out the water.
No, yeah, this is just, like... You've got a group that's got... You've just got a group with no one in it. You don't have like a Gareth, you don't have a governor, but look at the Too Far Gone group. Like the governor, and then like there's loads of people behind them. You know?
They spent the last episode introducing.
But this, it's like we don't know anyone, and everyone they killed was a jobber. Oh, but when she's operating, she refers to her as Holly. We're supposed to care about Holly. Well, this was pretty poor, hardcore Holly, not so much. But I'm going to give this episode.
I'm giving it a 5. It was fucking. That was. The average should have been. I think it could have been better with better people in it. You know, there was a lot of fighting and action going on, but I mean, it was action with a bunch of people I don't care about.
Yeah, and it was all hand-to-hand combat action, wasn't it? Which I just it's just.
Well, we had knives and blades and whatnot, but
it's just Carol though running around, fucking taking out like 20 men, and women as well.
And then we have Spencer sitting outside because he's too afraid to go in. Like, Morgan literally says, let's go and save your people, and he's like, no. It's like, you know, like, what the hell?
Am I supposed to root for these people?
Yeah, you're not really.
See when Negan said to him, you've got no guts, he wasn't fucking lying.
And see Deanna, like, how can she be the leader at this point? She should have that leadership stripped from her. How can she be the leader, yet she's locked herself?
And they've got access to guns at this point.
She's locked herself inside the fucking truck. But what's the excuse? People are going to say, oh, well, she's an older woman. What do you expect? Hey, what's Carol?
Yeah.
Last time, Carol's fucking got to be the same age as Deanna.
Near enough. Deanna does look like shit, though. Not that Carol doesn't, but...
Yeah, well, that's true. Anyway, like, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I think, based on what happened, I think if the wolves had been introduced beforehand and we knew the wolves... And they had like maybe even like one good member, and I think if you had your Rick and your Glenn and your Darrow and your Abraham inside Alexandria, then I think it could have been a lot better. But I mean, for what it was a bunch of no-name wolves running around, basically killing a bunch of people in Alexandria with no names. And
but see, a lot of people do rate this episode very highly.
But why? I mean, it was a bunch of wolves with no names killing a bunch of Alexandrians with no names. And then it was basically Morgan and Carol doing a cleanup job. That's kind of what happened. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. You're giving it a...
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 as well. But, you know, compare it to a different TV show. It would be like a gang that you don't know really anything about with no names in a shootout with a few members of your core group. But the only people they kill are fucking no names that you were introduced... Well, no names are people you were introduced to that episode. How could you give it anything other? I think The Walking Dead is quite masterful at being able to fucking drag out, like, a certain fight for a full episode that didn't actually mean much.
Right, let's compare it to Mayans. And I know not many people have watched Mayans, and the numbers don't lie. But look at the Mayans, season 4, episode 1. You had basically all the other Mayans attack the Santo Padre clubhouse. In the Santo Padre clubhouse, you had every single member of the club, right? You weren't missing your president, your VP. You had all the important members there, and then you had the big members, the members that have been built up. Kanshi from the other, Diaz I think was there as well, from the other charters outside. And you had like all the big names basically spending an entire episode going toe to toe, fighting against each other. That would have been like that would have been like the Swole Boys that we'd never seen before rocking up, and you've only got like one member and a couple of prospects. And the prospects are having to do a shootout and survive against this like no-name gang.
Breaking Bad, it's like Jack's gang without Todd, Jack, and his like VP guy killing fucking Hank and Gummy.
But Hank and Gummy aren't there.
Aye.
It's two guys.
It's two guys for the department
that we've never seen before.
It's like without... Yo, see shootouts and fight scenes, they can be as good as you want them to be, but see if it doesn't have the star power required, it's like fucking wrestling. You know,
no, this is like too far gone, right? But when the governor's group turn up, but without the governor, without Tara, without Pete, without any of those guys, and at the prison, Rick, Darrow, Tyrese, all those guys, Herschel, Glenn, they've all been out on a wee mission, and at the prison, you've only got like a Carol and Beth and the doctor guy who died.
I just find it so bullshit though that like Alexandrians survived this long without any sort of external heat. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, we put up the walls. Well, anyway, put this wall up. It's a 5 out of fucking 10. The next episode is better, but Eastman is then going to come along and cripple your ass. So until next time.
Going west.